All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a branded email for your business. So you're going to take your domain and then you're going to hook up a, Joe at whatever it is. So in this case, I'm setting up on the domain Faces of the Trades. This is a new podcast that I'm starting. If you are in the home service space, reach out. Would love to have you on the show. It's about a 10-minute show. Gives you a chance to, jump on, talk about what you do quickly with me, and then jump off. So it's not very much time investment for you, but it gets you a piece of info and a video piece that you can share on social media. It also gets you a really solid backlink. We're going to be building up the domain authority of this link quite substantially, so it's going to be a great play for SEO. But why do you want to have a branded email? Now, there's a lot of reasons. The biggest one is professionalism and credibility. So if you're sending an email to the bank, or trying to get a loan, or sending an email out to a commercial property that you're trying to get to work with, having a branded email shows, hey, you care enough to spend the $7 to $12 a month on an email. You care about details, and quite frankly, it becomes a business card for you, an online business card, an e-card for your business. They're going to see an email come through and they're like, oh, Lewis at Faces of the Trades. And they're going to go check out facesofthetrades.com to see more of what you're about. So brand recognition, trust and security. So people trust these emails a little bit more. Google trusts them. Better deliverability is often what comes along with that. And then you can build it out as well. So you can have, I'm going to set it up here using Google Workspace, but then you can set it up and have your whole team on it. So you can set yours up at, Lewis at Faces of the Trades. I can have info at Faces of the Trades. You can actually set up a bunch of aliases that you only have to pay for one of those emails. And I'll show you that once we get into the Google Workspace. But there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do with that. And there's actually, interestingly enough, if you're looking to build up your business credit, having a branded email is like one of the main things that you have to get before you even start that process. Another benefit that I missed with the team is if you have team members that access information, if they leave the crew, you have admin access to that email and you can cut their access off, or you can just change their password, and it helps with security and whatnot there. So those are kind of some of the reasons there. Yeah, one of them I missed, tax compliance benefits. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but helping to keep your personal and business communications separate is a big thing. So let's dive into it. So I have the domain. I purchased it through Namecheap. I love Namecheap. It's very easy to use. GoDaddy's another one that's pretty easy to use. But I've got the domain, and we're going to jump into how to set this up, right? So it basically involves connecting your domain, verifying that you actually own that domain, and then connecting it to Google. You'll have to pay and put your card in, which I'll do. But yeah, let's jump in here. So you're just going to search for, set up Google Workspace. Going to be pretty easy here. Just go to features and pricing, and you'll get to that same page that I was on. So I'm going to start a trial here on the business starter package. I'm going to go Faces of the Trades. It's just me. We're in Canada, but I'm going to do this with a backup. So if you have a personal email, you can set it as a backup. You don't have to have a backup email here, but it just is used there. So it says, the email address Lewis at Blue Crocus already has a Google Workspace account. Sign in to use your existing account or create a new Google Workspace using a different email address or domain. And that is what we're going to do. So we're going to create a new Google Workspace account. So you can buy a domain through Google, or I think it's Squarespace now, but I'm going to set it up using an existing domain. So we're going to continue with that. And it's going to say, what's your business's domain name? So you're going to have already gone over and purchased it from Namecheap. It's like, so your costs all in on this for this branded email, and that, extra boost in credibility, that extra boost in deliverability is going to cost you like $10, $15 for a domain per year. And it's going to cost you, $7 to $10 a year. So your in total is like $130 per year. Pretty small cost to pay. I remember being, if you're on the fence about, whether you should buy one, I remember being on the fence when I actually started Blue Crocus. And I wish I had just gone and gotten the email right off the bat. I know all those little costs can add up, but switching becomes a pain. And if you're just starting out a business, get over onto a branded email as fast as you can. So I'm going to take this here. I'm going to just copy Faces of the Trades. We're going to go over to here. We are going to paste it in here. Not sure what's going on. Let me just move the controls a little bit here. There we go. So I pasted that in there, and I'm going to go next here. And it's going to say, do you want to use this domain to set up the account? And yes, we do. So I'm going to set up, I'm going to do Lewis at. You're going to have a chance to change that later on, but something that you'll want to do is, set it up how you want it, Lewis at, or, John at, or whatever the case may be. And then you can, like I said, create aliases. So you could have sales at, you could have info at, and they could all, be aliases until you actually need a separate login. If you need, more information on that, I can help explain it. I'm certainly not an IT guy, but I've done this enough times here. Now here's a little hack that I use. I just go to LastPass and they've got a password generator. And I find it quite handy for creating passwords. And then while that's loading up, because my computer is being a bit slow, you can look at, do you want to get more info or emails, basically. So let's see if we can get this to jump in here. All right, so this finally loaded, and basically it's a password generator. So you can set, the length of it as big as you want or as little. I typically just throw it out to like that. I'm going to copy that there. I will have changed the password by the time you watch this, so you can certainly screenshot that and try and figure it out. But good luck. The other thing is, when you are setting this up, whether you write the password or you use a password generator, make sure that you write this down as you go. I can't tell you the number of people that I've helped here, and they don't write it down, and then they're screwed, and they got to go through the password reset process. So I've just copied it on a note on my other screen. And we're going to agree and continue. So it's telling me business starter here is, I'm going to compare plans here. That is the cheapest one. So I think it's $7 US, $9.36 Canadian. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to try for free for 14 days. Then it's going to run me through. It's going to ask me for address, all of that info there. So I'm just going to add my address here for the business. I'm going to, okay, that's good, all of that, and then I'm going to add in my card details. All right, so I haven't entered the card details in, but I'm going to enter them in there, and then I'm going to hit agree and continue, and we'll see you guys in the next spot there. So I hit agree and continue. It thought there for a second, and then it's going to basically just review. It's going to pop up with this, and you do not need to snag this. So it's going to be like, try it, no cost or whatever, but it wants to sell you on Gemini, which is an AI add-on, so you can just skip that for now. And then now is the part where, okay, I've given them their money. I have, let them know which domain I'm going to use, and now we're going to go and we're going to connect the Google Workspace process and setup and the email servers and everything with the domain that I own, just to verify that I actually own it, and then we're going to put a few records on the domain to make it, email deliverability and better and everything. So you're going to come here and you're going to choose whatever your domain host or domain registrar is. In this case, it auto kind of figured out that it was Namecheap, but if you have another one, you can let it know. I think it gives you the option here where, yeah, you can say my domain uses a different host, but we're going to click Namecheap here. And what we need to do basically is take this now. So this text record or TXT record is something that we need to add on the domain. So if you're going to come over to Namecheap, or if you're in GoDaddy, look for the DNS settings. So we're going to go to Advanced DNS here. And in this case, there's, a couple, well, I actually hooked up the website to this. So I've got another tutorial, Faces of the Trades. I just did a tutorial last night setting up a really quick log for Faces of the Trades that we'll be using. So check that video out if you haven't and you're interested in, the process of setting up a website on Duda. So those are the domain records there. So we're going to add a new record. Again, if this can click here, just going to refresh it. So we're going to take, yes, thank you. You're having a fun time there. So we're going to go here and we're going to copy this. Also, in the next little space there, I'll get you to subscribe and all that good stuff. But we're going to take this value here, and it should say copy. Okay, there. So it says copy the verification code. So we're going to go over and we're going to build a TXT record. So we're going to add a new record. We're going to scroll down to TXT. That's the value. So from this here, that's the value. And then we're just going to leave that on default. There. Okay. So if the txt doesn't work, it gives you a CNAME that you can use, but you just need to do the txt here. And we're going to host just set to default value, so that would just be at there, and we'll just hit confirm. Now I always just refresh in Namecheap just to see if it can pick it up a little bit faster. Okay, cool, the Google site verification tag is there, and now we're going to go, so it will take you to Namecheap and you can log in there. I missed that step because I was already logged in, but you're going to come back here and confirm once you've updated the host or the code on your domain host, and it's just going to think for a bit. It's going to go over to Namecheap, it's going to see that domain, it's going to scroll through the DNS records, and it's going to see if you indeed have control of that domain enough to add that txt record to the domain. Now, if you're watching and you haven't dropped, G Suite verification or Google Workspace in the comments, that would be awesome. And that was really fast. So sometimes it'll take up to 6 minutes, sometimes it'll take longer, but it verified that super fast. And so now we are good to go. So we're going to activate Gmail. And we're going to set up Gmail now to send and receive emails. So the first step was verifying it, and now we're going to add a few more records here to do it. So we're going to activate Gmail for everyone on Faces of the Trades. Right now it's just me. We're going to proceed with activation, but you could set up extra users there. And, you can set up the MX records and everything here. But in my case, I know that you can set this up here. So you just have Gmail on here, and it just automatically sets up the records that you need. So I'm going to come back here and click confirm. If I come back with egg on my face, it's because that didn't work, but I'm 99% sure that does. But if you don't have that option, you can just manually come in here, and I'll show you. You're going to come in here, and you're going to add an MX record here. Where are the MX records? Should give me the option of MX records here. Let's try now. Okay, it doesn't. So you'll need to, maybe it is because it just automatically does it. But anyway, you'll need to search for an MX. Oh, here you can do custom MX. But we're just going to do Gmail here. We're going to save the changes. We're going to go over here. So again, this is kind of building in public, as the cool kids say, but you get my raw, unfiltered version here. So we're going to confirm that we have set it up and added it. So you're either going to have added the custom MX records, or you're going to have just set it to Gmail in the case of what you can do with Namecheap, which is actually really handy. Google Workspace, you'll have to go through and add, I think it's about 5 different records. So this part takes a few minutes, so I'm going to just let it run, and then we'll come back when it's done. All right, so we are back, and this is what has happened. So it's saying, there's an issue here. So what you can do is you can go back and you can review the verification code, and you can do this. So typically I don't, but I'll do it this way for this one. I think it's just because it didn't update quick enough. So we're going to do custom MX here, and then we're going to come in and we're going to pop that in. So where are we here? We're going to do the value as that, and the priority set to default value. So default value is just 8 at there, and then priority, we need to have 1. Okay, so we're going to save the changes on that one. We are going to, again, refresh. And then I'm going to do it again. So this can happen to you. It actually happened the last time I set it up a couple weeks ago. So I'm just going to do it again, and it always sticks eventually. So if you're stuck in that process, just refresh here, come back in here and confirm, and it will run through that process again. I'm going to leave you, and I'll be back when we have something to talk about. All right, so now we have verified Faces of the Trades, the email, and everything's ready to go. So you can add users, but we're also going to go in and just explore that process. We're going to just skip the personalization. So I'm going to say I'm sure, not sure yet here. I'm going to say I'm not sure here as well. And then it's going to take us through, and we've verified the domain, we've set up billing, and then you can set up your workspace and whatnot. You can click that button there, go to my account. And once that loads, you'll be able to go over and fill out your personal info, your logo, name, etc. Now, we are also going to go over here, and I'm going to get you to log into the admin of the Workspace account. So admin.google.com, I believe it is. And once this is loaded, we'll be back. All right, so admin.google.com, you click on that. You're going to go log in under the Lewis at Faces of the Trades or whatever one you just created. I'm going to go snag the password that I created. I'm going to come back over and I'm going to put it in there. And then it's going to welcome to your new account, and you're going to hit I understand. And then you're going to be able to manage everything in here. So you can manage users, you can add users, you can delete users, you can change their name or email, you can create alternative email addresses here. So you can pick which user you want to create an alternative email address. So this would be like info at, sales at, etc. You can go in and do that. That's the process there. And then you can also head back over to the main section. You can jump into manage here, and this is where you can add new users. So you'll be able to add, your team members basically, and get their email set up their username, and then it's going to send them a password if you enter their email, or you can just take the username and password and send it over to them. So that is how you set up a branded domain email. So we went through the perks of having one. It's really important to have this for your business. I recommend doing it as soon as possible. But if you found this useful at all, please go down below, smash the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. And again, comment Gmail setup or Google Workspace setup to help the algorithm. And really appreciate everyone who jumped in. Thank you for watching, and be sure to get in touch with us if you want to be on the Faces of the Trades podcast. It's going to be fun. It's going to be an awesome way to represent your business and make some things happen. And I'll see you guys next time.